Alrighty. It's it's really odd that I've had so many experiences. When a lot of people go through their whole life and just experience nothing. But I do seriously put that down to whether you're open as well to that kind of thing. So I was living at Kurumbong. It's probably I'd say about 2019 or something. My previous story was about 2015, and then this one. This happened about 2019. I was living at Kurumbong. We used to go like forward driving and go just drive up into the Wattigans all the time for just like bushwalks, forward driving, picnics, just all that sort of thing. And then there's like little secret waterfalls and stuff up there. And I'm pretty sure that's why we were going up there that day. We were going up to this specific hidden little waterfall that's pretty dense within the Wattigans. So we went up into this little entrance up into the Wattigans this particular day. It was just like middle of the day or something, midday. And drove up in there. We hadn't long come off the entry into the track, and we were coming up just one of the main trails, and there was myself, at the time my partner Dan, his daughter Misty was in the back of the car, and also his son Cody was in the back of the car. And we were driving up onto this track and driving along. I was actually driving at that time. I was driving. Dan was in the passenger seat. Misty was sitting directly behind me, behind the driver's seat, and Cody was behind Dan in the passenger seat, like behind the passenger seat. And for some reason, I just happened to glance over it. Before this happened, I did notice, funnily enough, when I said before the last story, the nighttime with the crickets and everything went silent, eerily, deadly silent, and numb silence. The same thing happened. There was it's the middle of the day. There's like so much wildlife around and birds and just random noises. And when we went up this trail, we went into this. As soon as we got to some section of the trail, there was nothing, no bird sound, absolute silence. And I remember commenting to everyone in the car, like, "Listen to that." Yeah. And they're like, "What do you mean?" And I said, "There is nothing. Listen to how silent it is. We're in the bush. You have bellbirds. You have, you're always constantly non-stop, the bellbirds making their tweety noises and chirps and stuff." But there was nothing, absolutely nothing. And they were like, "Wow, you're right. There is nothing. What's with that?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know." And we just palmed it off. We fobbed it off. And then, like I was saying just before, I happened to glance to my right for some reason. I don't know why. Looked to my right, and there was right there, I'm talking 5 meters away from the car, or like I said before in my last story, I'm not good with distances, but it was fairly close, but obviously not right next to the car, but it was at least 5 meters away. And it was, it was 9 foot high, 8 foot high, of this silhouette figure. The only way I can explain it is the Predator, that holographic sort of look. But you could see that, but it was 8-9 foot high, and however wide. It was monstrous. It was enormous. This monstrosity of a I can't. It was huge, but you could tell there was "What is that? There's something there." I'm like, that looks so weak, and it's why is that distorted? That part of the bush. I was and I turned, and Misty in the back was already looking. Dan was already looking, and Cody was already looking. So everyone else had already spotted it anyway. And yeah, they're staring, I'm staring, and we're just looking at this. It was just, at that time, it was just a part of the bush that was distorted and blurry and looked like a holograph. And it was about, like I said, about 8 foot tall, high, But at that time, it was just like a parcel of bush that looked funny, like looked weird. And then when it moved, and I'm like, what? What? It moved. It went to the left, then it went to the right, and it was moving. And then you could see this. It was moving. It was like an outline, a very, very tall person. And I'm like, holy moly, what is this? And then the same thing, very intense feeling of fear. There was all these emotions, and then straight away I went straight back into the moment of when I was at King Creek with my friend Brooke. Like the same feelings, the same fear, the same panic, all those emotions and fear. But I was seeing something this time, and it was midday. It wasn't nighttime, it wasn't full moon, it wasn't like, it was midday. And I don't know why I had that preconception in my head that you wouldn't experience anything in the day. That's just an absolute joke now that I think back to that thought in hindsight. But it's just the intense fear, and we're just all staring, and it was just moving around, and then with that feeling wasn't going away. But I floored it. Like, I just took off. That fear took over again, and instead of staying and sort of I guess experiencing it and seeing what would happen, I don't know, but that fear was there again, and I listened to that fear, and I put the pedal to the metal, and I took off up into the bush, and we went and we had a quick discussion about what we'd all just experienced, and yep, we'd all experienced and seen the exact same thing, so we are not crazy. Yeah. And but yeah, when you got 4 people in the car that experienced the same thing, and then yeah, we went up, had a discussion, talked about it, went over it all, and then we just let it go, and we went off and found our waterfall and enjoyed the rest of our day. But still, when we drove back home and went back out of there, through that same sort of section, part of the bush, exactly where it happened when we left, it was just nothing there. Then the birds were there. There was nothing there.
It was gone.
It was gone. I've actually got 2 more.
2 more.
Yeah. Yeah, well, one was just a quick snippet. It was just another day up in the same bush, the Wadigans. I used to regularly go up there myself. Like I said, I'm very spiritual. I go up into the bush quite a lot to ground myself. A tree-hugging hippie, if you will call me. Yeah, just randomly one day went up to the bush. I'm just standing there, staring up at the bush, looking up at the sky, just enjoying the moment pretty much. And I was just looking out into one section of the bush, and I could see, for some reason I was just staring off at that time, but I was focused on this one tree. And then I noticed this part of the tree that looked really odd, and it was like halfway up the tree, but it was like it was joined to the tree and it was protruding out. It was like another big part of the tree, but it was like I said, about halfway up, so about half of the height of the tree. So it's just pretty tall. Once again, you're looking at probably like 9 foot, 10 foot tall even. And it was just odd to me. I just focused on that bit because it wasn't like, you get some trees that have, big bulbous bit that's, big growth or something. But this thing was like a whole length of half of the tree. And there was no branches coming off it. There was no growth coming off it or anything like that. I'm just like, what is that? That looks really odd. And I'm just looking, and then it moved.
Oh.
And it was, once again, middle of the day, broad daylight. I'm like, oh, that ain't just a tree. What the heck? And yeah, it moved. That time, I don't know whether it was because it was from an extreme distance away too, though. For some reason, I didn't have the fear with that time. Didn't have the fear. So I did stand there just watching it, and it just moved. And then it was like extremely fast, like a flash. And it just went like backwards, like towards the opposite direction of me, and it was just bang, like an instant, a flash, it was gone. So that was that one. So that wasn't, well, to a lot of people, that's a massive experience in itself. But I don't know, to me, I was just like, oh, what is this all over again? I just don't understand. I keep experiencing these things. Okay, so the next one we went to Safala. That same partner I was with at the time, Dan, we had a gold detector and we wanted to test it out. We went up to Safala and we went camping at Safala, which is well known to, people go up there like for gold fossicking and things like that. And we just went up there to just have a fiddle, nothing serious, and just have a camp there the night. He used to go up there as a kid with his dad and stuff, so he's got a bit of sentimental attachment to that place. And he really wanted to take me up there, so we went there. And it's just bush, like it's literally nothingness out there. It is just the sticks, it's just bush, and then you've got the odd creek bed. And there is a creek bed, dry most of the year. It does get, seasonal, it does flow through there seasonally. But at this stage it was just completely dry. And so you just had your normal, like, bush banks and things, and then you had the riverbed that went down, and it was like all pebbles and stuff like that. And we just put our tent down there, pitched the tent down in the creek, riverbed, whatever you call it, and same sort of thing. There's bushes and mountains and hills and things like that, and nothing really else stuck out to me. Like I will say that I did notice, because this was after I'd experienced all my other things, I did notice over all the experiences and stuff I've had, the trees are always half bent, like not completely snapped, like broken, but not completely snapped, like halfway up the tree. Just always, I do pay attention to that now. And I just remember that's a major thing that sticks out to me. And I did notice that there was a lot of trees around the bushes, and I did think to myself, oh, that's a bit how you going? And then so we just pitched our little tent, tiny little tent, and nothing. We didn't drink or anything. So once again, there was nothing in my system, not under the influence of anything. And we just had our normal night, went to sleep. And I remember I felt really just uneasy. I just felt uneasy. There was not I wouldn't say fear or anything like that. I just felt really uneasy, and felt like there was something around.
On alert.
Yeah, I was alert. Yeah, that's exactly. You're always good at coming out with the right words. Yeah, so just on alert and just uneasy, I guess. And so this time, this experience was partially secondhand. Other than that uneasy feeling, noticing the trees, I went to sleep. Then the next morning I woke up, and Dan turns to me and he goes, "Did you hear that last night?" And I said, "What?" And he said, "I have never heard," I don't know what it was. He said, "I don't know if it was a shriek or a scream or a howl," or he goes, "I cannot explain the sound of it, but it was the most blood-curdling noise that I've ever heard in my entire life." And he said, "And I heard this last night," and he said, "I was frozen solid in fear." And he said, "And I wanted nothing more than to wake you up." But he said, "I could not move." He said, I could not move. And he said, "And I'm hearing this scream, shriek, whatever it was." And he said, and then not long after that started, he said, "I heard what sounded like a steamroller coming down the mountain." He said it was just an almighty big force of something coming down that mountain. And he said, and it was coming straight towards us, it sounded like. And that shriek, that scream, he said, and at the same time, and he said it was coming. And he goes, and I wanted to wake you up. And he goes, and I could not wake you up because I just could not move. And he said, and then it was coming. It sounded like it was coming straight for us, and then it sort of kind of like went past. He goes, you could almost feel the wind or the motion of it going past, but also they got the breaking and the crashing of the trees, and I'm like, everything he's telling me right now is exactly what I experienced too in King Creek, and I'd never told this man about any of that stuff. Even though he was my partner at the time, I'd never opened up to him about this stuff until after he told me this. So yeah, I'd never told him about it. I'm like, wow, holy moly. And and then that's that one.
Well, that's why I don't go camping.
Yeah, I love camping, but to be quite honest, I have not went camping since I've had all these experiences. But I truly believe, just like anything in life, and you need to break through that fear. You need to do it.
I mean, I kind of want to go in the bush now and have a little bit of a look, but in the daytime.
The only thing, I would have thought the same thing. But like I said, those ones happened. A lot of them happened in the middle of the day.
Yeah, but I'm less scared in the day. That's the reason. I don't want to be up there at night in a tent.
Yeah, 100%. You don't want to do that, but
without me weapons.
But the curiosity. But then again, curiosity killed the cat.
And it killed Nikki. No, joke.
No, that's what I mean. Like curiosity, I have the intense curiosity, but then I also, on the other hand, I know what I'm dealing with here, and I know the fear I've felt, and I've got 3 boys that I need to think of, that I need to come home to. So I'm very torn in what to do, because I really want to investigate and search, and but then I don't want to die.
I think I'd be like Brooke. I know for a fact that I am a freezer.
Oh, you're a freezer, I know.
Oh yeah, I don't run. I definitely don't fight.
And I don't want to experience that feeling again of I need to save my friend. I'm not going to let my friend die. Like, I'm not going to leave a fallen soldier behind. But at the same time, if I can't move you, then I'm running. I'm not staying.
Remind me to not go out there with you, because you'll just leave me for dead.
I'll ditch you. No, but you're glued to the ground. Yeah, it's unexplainable.
I'm not heavy, and you are strong, but still.
No, there was some kind of power force that's like, it's supernatural, that she was glued to the ground. There was no moving her. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, that was fantastic.
Thank you for letting me share my stories and speak to you and other people out there that appreciate and understand.
Well, if anyone has experienced any Yowies or Bigfoot or Sasquatch or Yeti or Dogman or anything, please tell me.
Hit her up.
Because I love it.
Let's talk about this. It needs to get out there.
Let's do it. Maybe I should set up a Discord and interview other people from around the world.
I think that's an awesome idea.
Cool. All right, thank you.
No worries, thank you.
We're off to have lunch.
Good day.
Bye.
Bye.